Hi, and welcome to another edition of And It Starts Like This. I'm Miss Andrea, and today we're going to listen to Barefoot Dreams of Petra Luna, written by Alda P. Dobbs. The interesting thing about this book of fiction is that it's based on a true story. I hope you find the perfect reader for it. Here's Chapter 1. La Promesa. There it stood, the perfect mesquite tree, thick branches, unburned, and without bullet holes. I removed my shawl and lifted my long skirt high enough to climb. The tree's bark dug into my bare legs, but the pain from my empty stomach pushed me to climb higher. "Petra, what happened to the pants you had?" asked Amelia, my little sister. She was 6 years old, half my age, and had a question for everything. "Abuelita took them away," I said, steadying a foot on a gnarl. "She gave them back to Pablo." My cousin Pablo and I were about the same height, except that I was 2 years younger, and twice as hard-headed, according to Abuelita. "But they were your pants," said Amelia, putting her hands on her hips as she sat cross-legged. "Pablo gave them to you." "I know, but—" I grabbed the branch above me and struggled to pull myself up. "Abuelita said girls have no business wearing pants." In most families, girls had no business doing anything except learning to cook, clean, sew, and care for babies. But my papa was different. He always pushed us to learn more. At least he had until the revolution snatched him away. "Mama would have let you wear them," said Amelia. I stopped at the mention of Mama and turned toward Amelia. She wore the dress Mama had sewn for her days before she passed. It was brown with little yellow flowers. Amelia's only clothes were 2 dresses, and she wore this one almost every day. It was so soiled that it looked like winter had set on the little yellow flowers. And when I did the wash, no matter how much I scoured the dress against the creek's boulders, I could never bring spring back into it. I turned back to the tree and pulled myself over the next branch. "I miss Mama," said Amelia, hugging herself and stroking her small, scrawny arms. Half of my mouth gave Amelia a smile as I rubbed the sting and redness out of my hands. "Do you miss her?" asked Amelia. I didn't answer. I couldn't. My heart was still too raw. Instead, I balanced myself to a standing position and grabbed another branch. Mama had passed a few hours after our baby brother, Lucito, was born, almost 11 months to the day. It still hurt too much to speak about her. "Petra, be careful!" Amelia's eyes grew wide and nervous as I jumped from branch to branch, holding my small axe tight. This was her first time coming with me. She had convinced Abuelita to let her, claiming she needed to learn what I did. In reality, I think Amelia needed time off from looking after Lucito, probably her toughest chore. I climbed up the tree as high as I could, found a comfortable spot, and began swinging my axe. It didn't take long to chop off enough wood to take into the village. Almost everyone in the village used coal, but after the mine Papa had worked in shut down, wood became the next best thing. Chopping and selling was something I had to learn fast, after Papa was gone, to keep us one step ahead of starvation. Amelia helped me load our donkey with the wood, and I helped her to mount it. She immediately wrapped her small arms around the animal's neck. "I love you," she said to the donkey. "You're so hard-working and always smiling." "He's a donkey, Amelia. Donkeys can't smile." "Panchito can." "Panchito? You named the donkey? It was a strict rule. Don't name the animals. Names create bonds, and bonds tend to break, especially during war. I know Abuelita won't like it, but someone as hardworking as Panchito deserves a name, right? Promise you won't tell her? Promise. The word churned inside my head, day and night. 6 months ago, I had made the biggest promise ever when Papa was given the choice to join the Federales or be placed in front of a firing squad. On that day, I had run across town looking for Papa, and when I found him, I knew he had chosen not to join. Papa stood against a wall, blindfolded, his hands tied behind his back. He faced a line of soldiers with rifles aimed at him. All I heard next were my bare feet running across the line of fire toward Papa and my screams, begging to be shot along with him. I held on to Papa as 2 soldiers came to pull me away. I kicked with all my strength, and over my screams, I heard Papa shouting for them to let me go. But the soldiers didn't stop until Papa said he'd join the war. Before Papa was dragged away, I promised to take care of Amelia, Lucito, and our grandmother, Abuelita. And then he swore to return. After a deep sigh, I turned to Amelia. I promise, I said, convincing myself that in a world full of darkness and uncertainty, there was always enough room for one more promise. So if you know the perfect reader of this historical fiction, Barefoot Dreams of Petra Luna, give us a call. We'll make sure it gets to it. Thanks.